Hello students, welcome back to Bank Exams Today. Today I will be telling you the some I will be starting with the important topic series for IBPS SO Marketing Officer exam. So I'll be covering these two topics here today, and there was some problem with the sounds before. So yeah, I will be covering these topics today: Potter's five forces model and product life cycle today, and yeah, so let's get started. Let me just check now if it is working properly. Just a sec. And also I'll send, yeah, I'll send a notification as well. Yeah. So yeah, so Potter's model. Okay. Now, whenever we are doing a business or we are running a company, there are certain factors that are around us that affects our business, right? So now Potter has given us basically five forces, which helps us determine whether our business is working in a particular the business that we are running is working in a particular environment, is competitive enough or not, and whatever our strategy is working properly or not, whatever that we are doing, is we are doing it correctly or not. And these five forces help us like understand the competitiveness, that is, and also the whatever the strategy that we have made, the potential of that strategy, the profitability, whatever the profit will be there. So these five forces given by Potter is basically help us in determining whether we are competitive in our environment or not. So this basically this fire forces, these forces in our environment or industry also if affect our profitability, obviously, right? Only because so we study all of these five forces, to adjust our strategy that we have made if any requirement is needed. So we there is a we have to study all the five forces, which help to maintain the profits or grow our business. And if the by studying we also get to know about our competitors, the buyers, suppliers, and our new rivals that are there. Okay. So also, like for example, here's an example given, like for example, if we are in a good position with the analysis of the five forces, we saw that we are in a good strong position in a market, and like we can take advantage of that, right? And if we are not that much strong in the we are weak in a market, then we can have some strategies to overcome that, and avoid taking the wrong steps that we were taking, and we in future we will be careful about that. So that is all basically the fire Potter's model is. It helps us in understanding the competitiveness of the business environment, and the whatever the strategy, the potential of a strategy, it helps us in that. Okay, now here are the five forces. Here are the five forces that affects our business, affects the business environment. Now this is our business, and these five forces affects our business environment. Okay. Now, one by one, we will see, we will also learn about each of the points, the threat of the new, each of these factors that, or the forces that affect our business environment. Now, first is a degree of rivalry. Now, here in this, when we study about our rivals, we look at the number now how many rivals are there, or what are their strengths, the strengths of our rivals or competitors, and how many rivals we have, who they are, how does the quality of their products, like whatever we compare our quality of products with their products quality, right? If the rivalry is intense, okay, then the companies can attract customers with aggressive price cuts. They will offer discounts, and they can also conduct marketing campaigns to attract the customers. If there is the rivalry is intense, there are many people who are doing the same things, and they have as much as strength as you have, then we can offer them price cuts, and market campaigns can be held. But if the rivalry is minimal, is very less, then you have an edge on them, and you have strength, and your profits will obviously will be high. So the degree of rivalry will help us in determining our competitiveness and also our profits. Okay, now let's move on to next point, that is the bargaining power of the suppliers. Bargaining power. Now the suppliers who supply us the products, or the whatever that we needed in our business, so these suppliers, in this we get to know about how many potential suppliers we have, how unique the product or services they provide, and how expensive it will be to switch from one supplier to another. Now these the bargaining power of suppliers. Now here, bargaining power, what does this mean? Like, if the supplier knows that the particular thing that the supplier is supplying to our business is unique, or something cheaper than the other suppliers that are there in market, so that a supplier has the bargaining power, more bargaining power. If the supplier is giving us cheaper is giving us the products in cheaper rates, and also the quality is good, so the supplier has more bargaining power over here, and that supplier can charge us high, they can charge us high. And because he knows that that product is unique, and we are only gonna come to him to buy that product, so there are less chances to switch for us to switch to a cheaper alternative, because that unique product is with that particular supplier only, right? So if very few suppliers are there, then we need their help the more, and the stronger their position will be, the supplier's position will be stronger, and they will have the ability to charge us more. Okay, and vice versa. Okay, now we'll move on to the third point, that is bargaining power of supplier buyer. Now here whenever uh, if a particular buyer, if we are running a business, a particular buyer means a lot to us, that like that buyer is responsible for the huge share that we are earning, the profits that we are earning. That buyer is because of that particular buyer, then that buyer has more bargaining power. He can like he has more power, he can bargain with us more, because we don't want to lose that particular buyer, because most of the share of our profits is from that buyer only. Okay, so in this we get to know how many buyers are there, how big their orders are, and what would it cost us to switch from our products, services, and from the rivals, and how strong buyers are. All of these things are included in bargaining power of the buyer. All about buyer, like how many buyers we have, how big their orders are, things like that. Okay, so when we are having just a few customers, then these customers have more power, right? Our power becomes less, their power is more. But when our power can only be increased when we have many customers, and we don't care much about losing the customer. Okay, because if few customers will be there, our profit will be dependent on only those few customers only. So they have more bargaining power. I hope you're getting okay. Now next is threat of substitution. Here here what happens, we whatever that we are doing, whatever that we do, it we get to know that the whatever customers are wanting us to make, how many substitutes or how many people are there in the market who can produce the same thing and better than us. Like for example, if your business have a very you produce a very unique software product, okay, that automates an important process, like it works very fine, it is a unique software, and people may substitute that software, that unique software, they will do it manually, or they will outsource that thing, right? But here like because substitution of like buying that unique software with manually doing that or by outsourcing will be cheaper, right? And that will weaken our position in the market, and that will be a threat to our profits. That will weaken our position, and that will be also a threat to our position or profitability. Okay, and now this threat of substitution basically is whenever we are into doing some business, we always have a threat of substitutes, that other businesses making, substituting the whatever that we are in dealing into, substituting that with some other product. Okay, that is the threat basically here. So we have to study that also in according to Potter's five forces model. Okay, now the last is threat of new entry. Again, now when we are doing some business, there is always a threat of new entry that will affect our business. Okay, and our position will be affected. Okay, and this threat, this is basically like how easily people can do, if they can do it, the whatever that you are doing, whatever the that you are producing, the products, the whatever the business that you are doing, if it is easy to that can be done by anybody in the market, and it doesn't include any much cost, or your sector is not that much regulated, then obviously there is a threat of new entry, right? But if easily they can get hold of your get a foothold in your industry or market. But when it is not like that, little effort, little money is needed to compete your technology, then rivals will not be able to affect your business much. Okay, there are two cases here, right? You can also see that. If you want to read, you can always take a screenshot. Okay, and if PDFs will also be provided, don't worry about that. Now see yeah, so our next topic, we'll be doing our next topic, which is product life cycle. Now product life cycle, yeah. So whenever what is basically product life cycle, whenever we have to launch a product in the market, right? That particular product goes through various cycles, various stages that every product has to go through. Okay, and when see now when the product will have to be introduced in the market, it will take some time for the market to adopt that, and demand will also be increasing. When the product will be launched, demand will increase. But after some time, after watching that product, that it is earning profits, then what the competitors will do, they will start producing the similar type of products that will, so that they will compete you, right? And then gradually when competition increases, the profitability decreases, right? And then soon there will be better products and alternatives that will be available in or introduced in the market. So basically this is the basic idea of product life cycle, and it has various stages. We'll see that one by one. Now here when a product is first introduced in the market, it was not having much sales, profits were low, revenue, it is in terms of sales, right? And when at the time of launch of the product, the in introduction stage, the product was not known in the market, the profits were less, sales were low, and then gradually when the product did well, it grew in the market, and then at some point it was the competitors began coming, and then gave the competition to a product, and then the product revenue declined, and also the profits declined with the time. Okay, now one by one in detail, I will also give you example for this. Okay, now see, like for example, now in introduction stage, what happens? It is the most expensive stage, first of all. Because why it is most expensive? Because you have to incur all the costs, like before launching the product, there is a lot of things that you have keep in mind. That is there are many expenses that you have to incur, most expensive. And the whatever the size of the market is for the product is small. Okay, because the product has just launched. Okay, and sales are also low. Okay, and the cost of things are there, like research and consumer testing, marketing, and we need to launch the product, that it can be high, right? The cost can be very high to launch the product. Now for example, now Apple invested in a lot of funds to make the product. This company, that is Apple, they invested a lot of money in that. First, the iPod, let's take the example of iPod. When it was launched, it didn't get much market attention, and people didn't, it was widely advertised, and people didn't buy that, and people didn't buy much before when it was introduced in the market. Okay, and so the profit was very low in the introduction stage. Gradually when it became popular, and then there was there was no alternative, also there was no alternative available for this iPod, and people were ready to buy for the whatever the price that the Apple company was like they were charging. So people were ready for that. And then so it was the growth stage for the Apple, where the sales and the profits increased, a strong growth was there, and they started getting benefits from the economies of sale. That is, when you are producing in large quantities, then the cost becomes very low because of that, right? And the profit margins increases. Okay, and so similar then in that, after that growth of these iPods, and then when they became popular, then there came a time when the Chinese producer, they came into the market and started selling the cheap iPods or the music players, portable music players in the market, just very with very less price. So the price, now the decreased the price of the iPod due to that, because there was competition in the market now, and the product, whatever the product, the market share that was built up in the the market, that gradually starts decreasing. It becomes stable in the maturity stage, the market share becomes stable, and then gradually it declines in the next stage, which is decline stage. Because now in because there are no because there are very less number of buyers that will buy that product, iPods, and this profit will be negligible and demand will go very down, because these now why these why the iPods sorry now why the demand declined here, because people who were buying the products, the iPods, the Apple iPods, there were competitors, the Chinese producers started producing that. And then there came a stage where people doesn't need any iPod or music players, because nowadays we have smartphones, and the quality of music is very nice in these smartphones only, so we don't need any iPods or these music players. So that's why the demand declined. Okay. And then there is further the death of the product, which there the Apple discontinued producing the iPods, because people don't need that anymore. So that's it. And that was all about this. And that was all for today. And also at bank exams today, we are offering a IBPS SO marketing course, and video classes are there. Full length prelims tests are there, mains are there, live sessions will be there, and study material which is well analyzed will be provided to you. And we will be covering full syllabus. Okay, you can go to learn.bankexamstoday, and you can check the details for the course there. And you can also follow us on Telegram for the latest updates. All the links are available in the description box. You can check the description box. Also, for the latest updates, follow us on Telegram. Also, like this video and comment down below, and also don't forget to subscribe the channel. And these are the students who cracked the IBPS SO marketing officer last year exam, and they cracked this exam. And yeah, so that's all for today, students. Thank you very much for watching.